Right now we are in Vaudreuil-Hudson in Montreal, Quebec. This is a lot currently for sale.
Hello guys, welcome to Fahudi Hotspot Show. If today is your first time watching, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as if you're watching from Facebook, just follow the channel. I do bring you news from Canada. In fact, we are Africans, and I've seen so many things that coming to Montreal was a great idea. I'm sitting here with Mr. Kojo Odro. There's so many things Ghanaians we can also get ourselves into, like businesses, buying homes, investing in so many areas that we never thought was possible. Well, through Mr. Kojo Odro, you would hear so much about buying houses and how much and what are some of the the ground rules and what you need. So Kojo Odro, welcome to Fahudi Hotspot Show. So tell us, you took me around. I've seen mansions. In fact, there's a lot of things I never thought. I mean, I'm sitting on a property that you bought on your own.
Good.
So you bought the land?
Yes.
And then you built on it?
Yes.
So it's just like Ghana.
Something like that.
Everybody is talking about the fact that, Canada, Abrochi, you buy houses, you buy the house on credit and all those things. Can you tell us a little bit about first of all, how do you get into the market and who can get into the market?
Okay, thank you, Mami. And,
hello guys, welcome again. Now pay real attention and also keep in mind, buying a house here is not about having a good credit alone, also having your down payment. Now throughout this video, it's all about what you need, and also house ranges between $5 to over $1 million. So keep in mind, you see, as the housing prices keep going up, so is your down payment. So make it quicker and listen to these life history and also life skills and how to buy a house in this part of the world. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you very, very soon.
An immigrant here, you are not passing through. You'll be here for years and years and years to come. So have a good foundation, and it will yield in the future for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions. First of all, this area is beautiful. You would think it's only for white people. Guys, listen, you would think it's only for, look at the scenery, look at the way it looks. It's kind of like an outside the city, but in the city, because 20 minutes, 25 minutes you are in Montreal, you're in the city. We're coming from a park where a whole bunch of Ghanaians are playing, the Zongo caucus from Ghana, and it was just a few minutes ago we were just right there. How do you get to know, or what would it take you to own a house like this? Can you just tell us what the credit rating and like, can a foreigner, first of all, can I ask you, can somebody in Ghana buy a house in Canada?
The rules have changed for foreigners, but there's still a way. Here the government regulates the mortgage system. So if you are a foreigner and you want to buy, 7 years ago you used to need about 30% cash down, meaning that if the house is worth $100,000, you need $30,000 cash to buy the house.
Okay.
But the rules have changed. Now it's about 40%.
40%.
For a foreigner, a non-Canadian.
Somebody in
who never
Ghana
stepped a foot here before.
So somebody can have $1 million from back home in Ghana. So all this money we found in Cecilia Dapasbed can buy a land, several properties here and then own. So can you tell us, this house, let's say you buy a house at $300,000, what do you need for a down payment?
Okay, let me take you for example. You are an employee of the city of Toronto. So you are not self-employed. Somebody who works for themselves like me is different. You are a salary. That means guaranteed income, weekly or monthly basis. The qualification is different. If you want to buy a house as a salaried employee, you need a minimum of 5%.
5%.
5%. Meaning, if you're buying in a house of $100,000, you need $5,000.
Oh.
5%.
So if it's 300,000, you need 30,000.
Yes, 15,000.
Oh, sorry, 15,000. So 5%. Okay.
Minimum.
10% is in my head.
Yes, minimum.
Okay, so let's say I get my 5%. You buy the house. You have all the cost effect, lawyer fee.
The bank doesn't approve mortgages. It's the federal government, which has an agency called CMHC, Canadian Mortgage Home Center. Just like we have Passport Canada, just like we have Revenue Canada, this is also a department of Canada which regulates. So what they do is they guarantee the mortgage for the bank and between you and the bank, so that they cannot repossess your house if, let's say, you are going through a hard time. The government will step in to protect you against the bank from coming to take away your property. They don't have that in the States. In many countries they don't, but here we do.
Okay.
Because of that protection, the government wants to also make sure that you
Hi guys, pay attention to this calculation, because a lot of people are under the impression that to buy a house in abroad, you don't need no money, you buy it on credit, and here you go, you just move in. But trust me, if you don't have a $100,000 over $100,000 in Toronto, there's no way you can buy a house. So please listen very carefully so you don't get yourself the misconception out there, especially about the credit system in this part of the world. Is very, very elusive, where people think they can just get it. So here what our brother had to say about buying a house.
And your salary worker, like I said, is 5%. So 500,000, you need a minimum of 25% to buy the house. $25,000.
Okay.
To buy the
to
property.
buy the house.
If you're a truck driver, if you're a real estate broker, if you have a salon, if you are a contractor, if you are a kitchen, you own your own restaurant. If you are self-employed, you're an accountant, you do your own job, then the minimum qualification is 10%.
10%.
Why?
Okay.
Because your salary is not guaranteed.
Okay.
Because this year, as a real estate, you can make $2,000. Next year, you can make $2 million.
Okay. Okay.
Because of the fluctuation, the government also allow certain kind of leniency as a self-employed, and you need a minimum of 2 years for self-employment to be qualified.
To be qualified.
2 years.
So let me ask you this question: what do you think is the wise advice for someone who's new or old, renting or buying?
I don't believe in rentals.
Very good.
I don't believe in rentals.
Okay.
Why? Again, if I'm paying $1,000 a month, at the end of the year, you pay $12,000. Gone. Money you can never get back. If I buy my own and I'm paying $1,000 a month, and even if the $1,000, some of them is interest versus principal, properties appreciate, they don't depreciate.
Okay.
Meaning that if you buy a house today worth $100,000, in 20 years, the 100,000 will not be worth 60,000. In 20 years, it might be worth 400,000. It can be worth 600,000. So again, equity is the difference between how much you owe on a property versus how much you can sell it at. So if I own $200,000 on my house, and my house is worth $800,000, that means I can walk away with $600,000 in my pocket.
Very good. Now, my next question would be, how much do you think a house appreciate in this part of the world? I know a friend who bought one, moved in 6 years ago, bought it and closed at $500,000, guys, and 6 years ago. And today he's actually walking away with 1.1 million. So he now owes, well, he took money out 2 years ago. So again, how much do you think it appreciated? We bought our church. I would always make an example of this thing. We bought a church worth of almost 3 million in Toronto. And 5 years later, we sold it for $14 million.
I'm not surprised.
Guys,
I'm not surprised.
so the profit is what? Over $11 million. How much do you think a house appreciate? Buying a house last year versus this year?
For the past 7 years, the market has been shooting up very rapidly.
Okay.
For the past 7 years, again, it's supply and demand, migration. A lot of people has come in the system, and you can see that the government has raised minimum wages many times. It's gone up.
Yeah.
Why? Because inflation, food costs, everything else has gone up, meaning that rental costs will also what? Go up. So if I'm a house owner and my my mortgage rate is going up, I will also increase the rent. So if rent is going up, it increases also the value of properties. And supply and demand. The more people are demanding for one thing, the more the value of the item increases. So they are not the land. Again, somebody said God is not creating new land. It's the land that is there 30 years ago. It's the same land today. So you better fight for it. So everybody is competing. Maybe 100 years ago, the land was worth $1,000. Today, the same land is worth $500,000.
As I can see, there was a piece of land
here for sale. Yes.
Yeah, for sale, which is your next
$210,000.
$210,000 for that house. For that land.
17,000 square feet.
17,000 square foot. And it's 210.
10,000.
Guys, listen. So, would you advise anyone moving to?
You can buy it. You don't have to build. Here it's not like Ghana where you buy a land, they say you have 5 years, you have 10 years to build on the land. You can buy. There are people from Saudi, there are people from the Middle East who have bought land here which they have never physically seen. They buy it.
The Koreans
I know investors who has a building manager or a real estate manager who travels around the world signing contracts. So they come here, they close a deal, they have the money in the escrow account, they move from city to city. Closing account. Today they want to sell this area. Tomorrow they want to sell this area. I bought my land from a guy from Saudi.
So he
owned all the acres in this area.
So he bought it long time ago,
about 99. And he paid $1 per square foot.
Charlie!
I went to do the research. He paid $1 per square foot.
So let me ask you. So the land beside you was 210,000. You built your house when? How long ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Obviously,
it was cheaper than that.
It was way cheaper than that.
I won't tell you. Why
Ghana mano go tell them. You know they want me to know the truth now.
It was cheaper than that.
So it was way cheaper. And guys, listen, you should see the backyard. You should see the space this man has. So, I mean, if you were to advise anybody, any African, any Ghanaian living in Montreal right now,
Toronto,
anywhere right now, which area do you think? And obviously, as a real estate broker, you know the land. You know the land so well. Like that land you showed me. You know, there are certain things that tells you this is a good or bad land. Where would you think people should find you? Tell us where we should locate you.
I'm on Facebook, Kwadwo Oduro. Kwadwo, KWADWO Oduro. I'm on Instagram, Mr. Real Estate, Mr._Real Estate, and I'm also on TikTok, same name, Kwadwo Oduro. The land you were mentioning that we saw, there are qualities that with experience you get to know that this land, the one we saw today was $300,000 and it was 33,000 square feet. And you can see on the video, if Lady May will put it there, it's full of trees. And that means that it's a very fertile land, ready to be constructed. You can see how tall the trees are. That means they haven't even touched the trees there for maybe over 30 years. Because look at how high some of the trees are, over 200 feet on the land. So the city will not allow you, obviously, to cut all these monumental trees away. Canada is very conservative on global warming and saving the planet. So they will give you have to show your plan, and this area or that area, same area, my sector and the same sector, we went to see the land. You cannot build a house with a single garage.
It has to be two.
You have to show the plan to the city that I need to build a two garage. A two garage means that at least you are going to have 3 to 4 bedroom upstairs, meaning that we are looking at between 1,900 to 4,000 living square foot.
Okay.
Without basement. So this is the plan you show to the city, and then they will give you. Before I buy you a land, I will show you the requirements from the city, which has to fit the architectural plan that you want to build your dream home on the land. because that is the target.
Wow.
When we get there, you see swamps like green grass all over the land, and you don't see a single tree. You know that it's a waterlogged.
It's a waterlogged.
So meaning that it can be built. It doesn't mean you cannot build, but it means that we have to build a structure on a structure. Meaning that we have to compact stones on the land about maybe 2 feet high,
which will cost
you more money. A trip of 3/4 dB stones is maybe about $1,200, $1,200. So you might need about maybe 7 trips of that.
Wow.
To compact it, because Canada is a clay or waterlogged land. You know, we have this area, you cross 3 bridges. Here is called Troalak, meaning 3 lakes. So we have 3 water bodies around the island.
Oh, wow.
Montreal itself is an island, so
exactly.
water is everywhere.
Wow.
So it can be built, but there are criteria that you have to meet. You cannot come and build apartment buildings in this area. Here, there's nobody renting in this area.
That's right.
The house here is minimum 2 garages.
Obviously. Guys, listen, based on Mr. Kwadwo's experience, of course, even looking at some of these houses, the questions that was asked and the answers tells me he knows exactly what he's doing. If you are looking for Mr. Kwadwo, the number is going to be strolling and scrolling, and keep scrolling and keep looking and keep dialing it. If you live in Ghana, you live in Nigeria, you live in any part of Africa, you want to experience the lifestyle, that quiet and the living space that gives you the serene of your own comfort and everything that gives you that man cave and the woman, the shelter. This is Canada. You need to buy the house in Canada. The peaceful environment is amazing. So call us. Make sure that you look for Canada and also for our brother Kwadwo Oduro. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you in our next video. We'll be going around and showing you more of these things. Thank you.